Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewers, thank you very much for joining us. We're live on Mic'd Up on YouTube, Mic'd Up 416, as well as on the Sufi Council platform on YouTube and Facebook. And we're live from Makkah Islamic Center. And we have a great program today. Inshallah, we have Toronto District School Board Trustee, Brother Zakir Patel, who has joined us live from his office. We'll get to Brother Zakir in a second. Just go through the formalities real quick. I also have beside me on my right, Janab Mohtaram Mohsin Patel Sahab. So, Assalamu alaikum, Brother Mohsin.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
How's it going?
Alhamdulillah, brother.
MashaAllah. Thank you very much for joining us. And so just before we get into it, this is a very needed discussion. We had a lot of conversation with Brother Zakir Bhai and discussing, the educational system for our children, whoever is on in Toronto, definitely. So it's going to be live updates. We're going to include COVID-19 updates as well, but predominantly about the educational system, what has been happening since the pandemic. So inshallah, before we get into all of that, I'm just going to discuss on YouTube. So we are live on YouTube. So please, for those who are watching, please go out and subscribe to the channel, Mic'd Up 416. Hit the bell icon just for future updates, inshallah. And we are also live, or we have now, alhamdulillah, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Anchor. Gosh, there's so many. I know. I just can't even keep up nowadays with what is out there. So we're all on the podcast channels on Apple and Android. You just have to download whatever phone you have. Like if you have Apple Podcasts, etc. So that's very good and well. So please go out and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Mic'd Up 416, just for future updates and clips from episodes. So inshallah, just to stay engaged with what is happening nowadays. The educational system is a hot topic, and Brother Zakir Bhai, who has been in the field for quite some time now, has been working diligently for the community in Scarborough-Guildwood, as well as not only that, but also from the other side as well, working with teachers to better educate our children, to get them ready for the next level, whether that be in going into high school or from high school to university.
Yeah.
And it's not easy because of the pandemic.
Yeah, it's not easy.
So I know they're very busy, so taking time out from their busy schedule. I'm going to turn it over first to Zakir Bhai. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. And maybe you just, if you want to introduce yourself for those who don't know you, maybe a short conversation just about who you are, what you do, and what you're about, and then we'll get right into it.
Great. Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah, Brother Omar, Brother Mohsin, and the team. First of all, I'm excited for this program you have organized, and this is a very important one because it's a challenging one. COVID-19 has changed the world, and it has changed everything, whether it's education, it's your personal life. But a couple of things, like before we go and discuss this, let me introduce myself. Most of people know me. My name is Zakir Patel. I'm a TDSB Trustee for Scarborough-Guildwood. I'm a resident of Scarborough-Guildwood for the last 25 years. And alhamdulillah, gained some ground with community. I'm happy. They elected me. Not only the community, but the community at large.
MashaAllah.
Whether it's Muslims, non-Muslims, whites, non-whites, blacks, whatever you want to consider, right? Everybody elected me. I'm glad that I got elected. And there were so many misconceptions about our education system, right? Like it's easy for us to sit at home and, talk about this and that, right?
Absolutely.
But since I'm inside, I have learned a lot, and I'm helping community too. And let's have a good discussion on this. And I'm not sure if 1 hour is enough for this.
For sure.
Right? It's a very huge system. It's not a small system. So I'm happy, and I'd like to congratulate your team in this COVID timings, right? You guys are doing amazing jobs. I mean, even passing on message is not easy nowadays. But you
Absolutely.
guys are doing a great job.
Thank you very
So
much,
I'm looking
Zakir Bhai.
forward.
Thank you very much. So just, I think you're being too humble. Zakir Bhai has been working with Brother Mohsin. So before we get into the podcast, I just want to make sure that people have asked if there can be two lingos. So if we can do some Hindi, Urdu, English as well for the parents who are watching. So I'm going to leave that to Brother Mohsin and Brother Zakir Bhai. You guys can converse as you wish, inshallah, because I know Mohsin Bhai has a lot of questions. He has his phone ready, inshallah, with a lot of questions. For Zakir Bhai, he's going to put you on the hot seat. But I do want the awam to know that this individual who is in the middle of your screen, Brother Zakir Bhai, it doesn't matter the time, the day, it doesn't matter what day of the week, month, year, it doesn't matter. If you need him, he's available. That's one thing. And number two, for his dard, his ache and pain for community betterment, I have not seen in a politician. He's not your typical politician, right, Mohsin Bhai?
It's very true, and 100%. It's whatever we say about Zakir Bhai, it's very less. We have a lot of stuff to say. He's doing a very good job for our community.
Absolutely.
And he has been elected for TDSB Trustee. He's doing very good for our community as well and for everyone. So it's good to have one of our brother in trustee. So it's good to have you.
So I just wanted to say that because you humbled yourself too much. So you deserve credit. Give credit where credit's due, inshallah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless you. And this is just a small thing. We want to see you in Parliament Hill, inshallah, one day.
Inshallah.
So COVID update. COVID is a pain in you know what. So it's affecting our educational system, Zakir Bhai. And there's been a lot of stuff. I know kids are not in school. So that's the obvious. But what is stirring up in the educational system about COVID? Like what is the next steps? That's what people want to know. What is going to happen next? Like there must be a second plan B, plan C, plan D. If this doesn't work, then we'll do this. If this doesn't work, that will do that. I know you can't give too much information, but parents are genuinely concerned.
You are completely correct. But what's going to happen tomorrow, Umar Bhai? Nobody knows, right?
Yes.
When this pandemic started in last February, if I'm not wrong, March.
Yep.
February, March, yeah.
Who expected that, we'll be in this situation after a year?
Gee.
Right? It was challenge for everyone. Challenge for trustees, challenge for parents, challenge for governments, challenge for educators. Challenge for students. Like it was a massive change. And I think personally, TDSB or whatever the education system is, like Ontario or Canada, everyone is doing their best right now.
Right.
No plan is a good plan right now, but a plan is a plan.
Right.
Right. And what I have seen, it's a mental stress, a lot of mental stress.
Right.
It's not easy. What's going to happen tomorrow? Even my kids ask me this.
Right.
Right? Dad, are you going back to school?
Right.
I say, you are in the school. He goes, yeah, I'm in front of computer all the time. I see, yeah, but that's your school right now. You have to adapt that, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I hope and I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we get over with this COVID.
Right.
It's challenging, but it's like a ladder. You cannot just jump in.
Right.
You have to go one step at a time.
Right.
And that's what's happening. I'll go back a bit.
Sure.
What happened last year when we wanted to open the school, there was a big debate. Should we send kids to school? Should we not send to school? What should we do?
Right.
And suddenly this idea of virtual school came up.
Right.
Right. And TDSB has to create a big school. It was like 80,000 students out of 250,000.
Right.
And the challenges were, are we equipped to do that?
Right.
Do kids have computers? Do family know about the programs like Brightspace, Google Room, Google Meet?
Right.
Are teachers equipped of those platforms.
Right.
Because imagine the teachers who got graduated like 20 years ago, where computer was nowhere around,
Right.
right? So this type of challenges, but slowly we are overcoming it,
Yeah.
and hopefully, you know what, we'll be in a better place. Your other question, it's a very good one. The big challenge is for elementary kids.
Right.
It's a mental stress for them.
Mm-hmm.
High school kids, especially grade 12s. I can tell you one thing. I mean, how the system is going on for the last couple of years, like couple of courses kids did to take online courses.
Right.
So they are adapting the system slowly.
Right.
But the challenge is for those elementary kids from grade 1 to 6, 7 to 8.
Right.
So they will need a lot of mental support when everything goes back to normal. And that's the time where everyone has to chip in: parents, educators, governments, community workers,
Right.
right? And we have to do a collective job in this. It's not one man's army job.
Yeah.
It's not only government's job. It's everyone, including you guys, what you guys do,
Yeah.
right? And this is where I think the next level will be. It has to be a community get together
Mm-hmm.
to come out of the deficit of last 1 year,
Yeah.
right? So these are my some views on it, and hopefully, inshallah, we'll be in a better place.
Inshallah. Brother Mohsin.
So Zakir Bhai, I was listening what you're saying that the pandemic happened in last March, February and March. Between that and Sufi Council of Toronto, when the Masjid were shut down, also at that time we invited you in our platform on Sufi Council of Toronto. And as Umar Bhai said कि हिंदी और इंग्लिश में गुफ्तगू थोड़ी
Yeah,
करनी है.
yeah.
तो जाकिर भाई उस समय भी हम आपसे अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह बहुत सारी अपडेट मिली थी हमें, ये स्कूल के जरिए से TDS की जो अभी हालात चल रहे हैं, राइट? पीपल आर वरीड, पेरेंट्स आर वरीड. सो सेम वी गोना डू इट टुडे. तो लार्ज मार्च में द सिस्टम वाज नॉट देयर. जैसे e-learning हो गया, right? People were still going to school. Half of the kids were scared. Parents were scared. Kids were scared. They don't want to school.
Yeah.
And like they were worried. Like अब कैसे बच्चों का future बनाया जाए? Like was parents घर पे भी नहीं रह सकते. They have to go to work, right? So now what's happening is right now कि अभी e-learning जो प्रोग्राम आ गया है, जो ब्राइट स्पेस का प्रोग्राम आ गया है, काफ़ी बच्चे वो लोग लॉग इन नहीं कर सकते, राइट? उसमें लोगों के पास लैपटॉप्स, जैसे आपने जो स्कूलों ने जो लैपटॉप बच्चों को दिया है, तो लैपटॉप्स अभी काफ़ी के पास नहीं मिले. काफ़ी लोग अपने यूज़ कर रहे हैं, काफ़ी यूज़ उसको बाय नहीं कर सकते, right? So what are the updates on that? Like why people are getting hard time in the website, what you guys have created, and about the laptop, why is didn't reach out to all the students? Like why is that, and why that problem has arisen?
It's a good question. Again, information. Information is very key in all this. Still, anybody who is looking for Chromebooks and iPads, I think we are running out of iPads. But if anyone needs Chromebook at this moment, kisi ko bhi chahiye, still it's available.
Oh, wow.
But this is what it is. The system is willing to help. Everything is there, but we don't know how to get it.
Okay, that's a good question. Thank you. So I'll sorry, I will stop you there because Zakir Bhai, the issue right now, Umar Bhai, I was dealing with the Chromebook personally myself.
Okay.
For my daughter. So Zakir Bhai, from your side, you said a very good story that Chromebook is available.
Right.
But for my personal daughter, I have to go through principal to the trustee, and the trustee has to go to superintendent.
Right.
Still, at the day of time today, I have no Chromebook. I have to go and buy from my pocket. I have to go and buy the Chromebook, and my daughter using my Chromebook, not the TDSB Chromebook.
Mohsin Bhai is making this personal.
Right? So no, Zakir Bhai said it's available.
It's good. Let Zakir Bhai, let's see what he says.
So,
Go ahead, Zakir Bhai.
I have a question. I'm going to put you on the spot. Are your kids in virtual school or remote learning?
Hi. He got you there.
It's same virtual.
Virtual, right?
Yeah.
Since day one, right? Since
Of
day
course.
one.
Yes. Day one.
Okay, so now there's two type of system right now.
Okay.
Once is virtual.
Okay.
Their principals, their superintendents, their vice principals are completely separate than your local school.
But I was told by a technical team of TDSB to contact our local principal, and the local principal was contacted by our trustee, and it was going in a circle.
This is what I'm saying. Information is key. There's two separate schools right
Exactly.
now. Even if your kid goes to, let's see, William G. Miller, for example, right? But if you're a virtual student, technically you are not part of that school right now.
Total different
You
principal.
have your own.
Yes.
It's a different principal.
Different.
Everything is separate. So you have to
Exactly.
email them.
Email them.
You
Yes,
have
I
to
did.
email their superintendent, right?
100%. I did.
The virtual school one, right?
Yes. Yes.
Listen, if this is what it's going to be, you could just deal with it on a phone call.
No,
No,
but Zakir
because
Zakir
He's right. He's
no,
right.
this
He's
is
right.
the example of my daughter, right? But I don't want to take it down. But there are too many parents
You
like
took
that.
it there already.
So don't have the Chromebooks. But Zakir, when you said TDSB has a Chromebook, no, that's right
They
right
have
point.
it. I got somebody 2 Chromebooks day before yesterday.
Mashallah. Mashallah.
So you know what?
So
get
can
me
I-
one. You know.
So can I? So is it safe to say, Zakir Bhai, to sum it all up, taking most is like very jazbat about this, but just to say that, so because I don't live in the GT, I mean in Scarborough, so what you're pretty much saying for the parents who are watching, that Chromebooks are available, but there's a segregation between virtual learning and in-school learning. There's two different types of principals, vice principals, trustees, etc. So if you are doing virtual, then contact your principal,
Yes.
No,
which is separate
the
from.
virtual school principal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Separate from your regular principal, as if you were going into class.
True.
Okay.
So
They
this
have
is what it
nothing.
is right
They
now.
have nothing to do with that. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yes, like right now, Mohsin, I'll give you a good example. Like lots of people who are in person now have to go for remote learning, right?
Yeah.
So most of, like, I can't say most of the parents, but some of the parents don't have Chromebooks
Yeah.
because they were going in person, right? They requested to the principal or a vice principal, and they're getting that one. Most of the school has with them
Very
in
good.
the school,
Very good.
Yeah.
and they can just go. Their principal is going to call them, say, you know what, come at this time. Make sure you have your COVID rules and regulation followed. Boom, done. If you want to replace your books, still there's some facilities. You can go to your local school. You can do it. So the support is there. I agree. I mean, I don't disagree with you. But sometimes, I know there's a system you need to get approval from the superintendent, right? And there's a reason why those rules are in place,
No, Zakir,
right?
I got it.
And
Yeah.
so the support is there. I agree. I mean, you are right. Like there are some parents who are struggling for like months.
Yeah.
But the good thing is they are not from my riding, right? So
Yeah.
That's
if
why.
they were
That's
in
why.
my
That's
riding,
that exactly. I said that I'm not from Zakir Patel riding,
Yeah.
so I have to go and contact somebody else, like trustee from my riding, right?
So I mean, it's a frustration because he is a parent. But Zakir Bhai, maybe we can note this down. We have Hafiz Yahya, the engineer behind the scenes. But is there where can I get as a parent? Where can I go get this information? And maybe we'll put it on the link on the YouTube link to say, look, here you go. You can go to this link, click this link, and you'll find all of that. So is there like a website?
tdsb.on.ca, that's number one.
Okay.
Number two, you should always subscribe to your local trustee, their newsletters.
Right.
Most of the parents don't do that.
Perfect. That's a good point.
Right. If you have that information with you, I mean, everything is in there.
Absolutely. So we'll note that
And-
down on
Yes.
the YouTube link to go there and just for
Yeah.
parents. But sorry, you were saying, Zakir Bhai?
So, I mean, the other thing is, this is my request to all the parents, or jo log sun rahe hain.
Ji.
I mean, I know it's challenging for us because we are first generation immigrants, right? And email address, very important.
Right. Of course.
एक email address और आपका एक phone number.
Yeah.
This is very key now.
Absolutely.
We were going through a survey last month, and my communication department calls me, and he's saying, Zakir, we're still missing like 8,000 parents don't have email addresses.
Wow. You know
How
what? I'm
can
not
we reach
surprised.
them?
I'm not
How
surprised.
can we reach them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
true.
this keeping जो लोग भी सुन रहे हैं, please एक छोटा सा email, parents, not kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
because kids is a challenging one, because let's say your kid is in grade 6. and she's
Right.
like, he or she is 11 or 12 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
If all the information is going to her,
Mm-hmm.
parents are completely out of touch.
Yeah.
Basic.
They don't know
Absolutely.
what's going on,
Yeah.
right?
100%. 100%.
And this is my humble request to all the parents who are listening. Please have one email address. Update your email address with
100%.
TDSB. One parent, kids is separate. They have their own email addresses, but
Right.
parents should have one email address.
So
Either husband, wife. If you're a single parent, please do that.
so is there and they have to update on the TDSB website. Correct.
Yeah.
Good. So that's good. A parent just sent a message about one of the concerns. I'm going to ask that question when I get into where I want to take this conversation.
Sure.
So, do you have something, Mohsen Bhai, before I go into some deep stuff?
No, where we are right now, just got a message from Zakir Bhai might know to Aziz uncle, Aziz Matadar, right? So Zakir Bhai, the parents is asking that if they break their laptop or iPad, which was given by a school, how they can replace, where they have to go and कहाँ पर report करें, मतलब ये थोड़ी information आप अगर दे दे तो.
Same process. Email your principal, email your vice principal that, hey, my device is broken. Please exchange my device.
Perfect.
So what
They'll
device
do it.
they have available right away, or they have to wait in a line, like because
Some
people are
school,
switching.
some school have right away, like it's in their school. If they
Okay.
don't have it, then they have to order to the central, which is 50/50 young, right?
Yeah.
So they order that, hey, you know what, a parent is looking for a device, right? So they
Yeah.
send you directly. So it's available.
Good.
So that's good. It's available, and the parents who ask, I hopefully they get the answer. They just have to follow
Inshallah.
the procedure, email to TDSB, and just get an exchange. That's good.
It's just a procedure. When you write an email, please make sure you CC or BCC your trustee.
Yeah, blind carbon copy, so that no one knows you're sending it to. But anyway, Zakir Bhai, where I want to take this conversation, education is very important. I know we are an Islamic idara, etc. So we preach this as well.
Yeah.
In every religion, it doesn't matter. We talk about knowing your kitab, meaning learn knowledge. So our educational system obviously has been taking a big hit. The biggest concern that parents have is for those kids that they have who are enrolled in grade 8, who are going to go to high school, and those parents who are children are in grade 12 who are going to go to either college and university. The concern is, are they getting the right education, the best of the best from the teachers to be ready for that step to college, university? Because Zakir Bhai, because you're in the field, obviously, and we've gone to university, it's a culture shock. Going from grade 12 to university, it is probably the scariest moment for children, for kids and for young teenagers. It can make and break you, and grade 12 can make or break you, or grade 8 can make or break you. So what is your take on this? Are we challenging our teachers to make sure that as educators, they're educating our children to the best that we want our children to be at?
A good question and a good conversation, and I think this conversation should go beyond this, right?
Yeah.
And this is my passionate subject. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying you is this: yes, grade 8 and 9 is a gateway towards your, I call it towards your future. Grade
Absolutely.
12, it's towards your education, right?
100%.
The reason why I say this is because it's very important. It's a cultural shock. You are from one school to another school, plus you're in a different ball game now,
Yeah.
right? And this is where I'm going to put this into a couple of blocks.
Sure.
And one is TDSB teachers are very well equipped. There's no question about it. There's no doubt about it.
Okay.
They are doing all their best, right? But here's the challenge, what I have seen in the system from our kids. Let's put our kids right now.
Sure.
Because this is where I see them very closely, right?
Yeah.
And this is where I want parents to engage,
Right.
right? Because parents are completely out of loop.
Mhm.
They are, because it's a first generation language barrier, shy of talking to their teachers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably no time to attend school parent-teacher meetings,
Right.
probably not checking their kids' report cards, right? So I'll always give a benefit of doubt to teachers in this because they do their best, right? Uh, the debate is another thing that are they giving 100%, right? Like I say, not everybody gets number one,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Yeah.
And this is where my second part goes on is guidance counselor,
Okay.
where a guidance counselor can act as your parent. But here's the challenge what I see in the system for our kids. They're shy talking to people.
Yeah.
They are the cultural shock, like what we have is we are not too much, like we are in too much respect. हमारे प्रिंसिपल है और किसी को बोल देंगे, you know, this is the challenge I see. So that guidance counselor are the most important part. Either it's grade 8 to 9 or grade 12. But grade 12, I think it's too late.
Yeah.
Grade 8 to 9 is very important.
100%.
And yes, we have a guidance council support for sure. But here is a challenge for you guys going forward. And I'm going to work on this if it's going to work. Like we have evening madrasas for 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
If we can spare half an hour just for guidance counseling.
It's a very good idea.
That's a good idea.
Because just half an hour, you know what? We will have madrasa for 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
Baki ka adha ghanta hai na, you will call a motivational speaker like you who has gone to the university system, right? You know the system.
Right.
You know how to reach to the second level. You went by yourself, I'm pretty sure. I mean, mom and dad were probably working hard,
100%.
right? And you climbed that ladder by yourself.
Yeah.
Now you have all hands-on experience, right?
Yeah.
This is where you can come out and say, you know what, hey, listen, what do you want to do? Tell me. Here are the resources.
It's a very good
You
idea.
need resources, come to me, I'll give you the resources.
Yep.
It's the same thing with TDSB.
Yeah.
The amount of resources they have, it's unbelievable.
Right.
But the problem is they all are online.
Yeah.
And our culture is used to of having one-to-one dialogues.
Yeah.
Right? So that half an hour window, if you guys can spare it, I was not trustee.
Yeah.
I was involved with one of the mosque, and I always threw this idea. I said, guys, half an hour. Right? So this is my take on this. Grade 12, Umar, I mean, lots of support out there. In this pandemic, I was worried about grade 12 students.
Right.
But a couple of schools in my area, like West Hills, Sidbury, Woburn, right? They had all sorts of help.
Right.
Like they brought in the Ontario University Application Center, the Ontario College Application Services. They got everybody together. They had like 10 to 15 online seminars and things like that to help these kids.
Right.
Right. So the support is there.
Right.
But I know, like, it's at home, everything. Nobody's there to monitor them.
That's the biggest thing, I
But
think.
that's the biggest challenge, right? And now I think every challenge is an opportunity.
Yeah.
So my message to those people who are sitting at home, like moms, most of our moms are sitting at home, right?
Right.
This is the best time to learn how to make an email address.
Yeah.
This is the best time to, just a general general computer learning things, right, from your kids.
Absolutely.
Or at least, I'm watching my kid, right? So I don't know where you want to take this conversation, but these are my 2 cents on this.
I'm just one thing, Mosbai. I know you have a question. Sorry to cut you off, but just about that. So it's a 2-part question, Zakir Bhai. One of them, the actual question that led us into this part of the topic was, how are kids going to do exams, and then how monitoring. But my take on teachers. So I know some teachers, not in your writing, but I know people that teach, and I'll be honest with you, they're fed up. they're fed up with the load, the class load, because now it was split, right? So half were in at home and half were in class. Now everyone's together, and it's more. And I've seen, like my nephew, I've seen people online. We run our own madrasa, so I know how hard it is. I teach, so I know how hard it is. My hat goes off to them. Honestly, it does. But there's the younger generation of the teachers that just don't care, and they're fed up. They're not putting their A effort. My question is two parts. So one, how are we going to make sure that they're ready and tayyar for their exams and tests? And second, what sort of accountability do we have on people monitoring teachers?
So it's again, it's a great question, and like I said, monitoring, right? Monitoring.
Because we're supposed to
not a
monitor our
school.
children, but who's monitoring the teacher? You know, if teacher is like putting her feet up against the thing with a book in front of her face and just reading, right? There has to be some accountability. That's what parents are concerned
There
about. But
are,
anyways, go ahead.
and that's where your virtual principal comes in. There is the virtual principal who is constantly on top of all those type of things. The superintendent's on top of it. That's why we created two separate bodies
Right,
for virtual and for remote learners, right?
right.
For sure. I mean, like I said, not all the teachers are. What are you trying to say? Like, I have seen great teachers in the system,
So, yep.
and they have gone very far in this. They are stressed out right now,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know how to answer your question. Who is monitoring them? It's kind of
Meaning the accountability, right?
challenging. Accountability, right? And like I said, this is what I have found out as a parent, not as
Yeah.
a trustee.
Right.
Once in a while, every morning when the school starts on your computer, make sure your face is on the camera.
Hmm.
Somebody's watching. That, hey, parents are watching us,
Yeah. That's a good strategy.
right?
Good
So
strategy.
I mean, like in any field you go, I mean, there's no 100%, right?
No, and
So
that's why I said there's some great people.
yeah, and that's why I call teachers frontline heroes, especially the teachers who had their degrees done in 1990s, right? Before that,
Right.
for them, this is a challenge.
100%.
It's a big challenge. To your questions about the exams and everything, those things are done like it was done before.
Right.
Kids have to, like, their presence and absence are marked,
Right.
their assignments are marked.
Hmm.
Yes, there are no exams, but they look at their overall work, what they have done throughout the year,
Right.
and that's how they are graded,
Yeah.
right? So it's a challenging. I know, and there's no good answer to that. But like I said, we have to start. Like, everybody has to collectively play a part in that. If it was a school, I would have easily said, what, principal is looking after them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there is someone who is monitoring. Trust me.
Sorry.
But
I
right
listened.
now, I have a heads up for the teachers. I have lots of respect for them.
Yeah.
It's not easy to monitor like uh, 20, 30 kids on a
Oh,
screen,
it's hard. Yeah. Yeah.
and then you have to swipe the screen and find another kid, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's give them benefit of doubt.
No, for sure.
No,
Also, bye.
Zakir Bhai, thank you for answering what Umar Bhai asked you. But Zakir Bhai, on the same question, when you said when teachers and principals jab monitor kar rahe hote, right? Like superintendent and principals are monitoring the teachers. But Zakir Bhai, Umar Bhai, like मैंने कभी few times हुआ है कि ऑनलाइन क्लास शुरू हो जाता है लेकिन टीचर ही प्रेजेंट नहीं होती है. सो टीचर प्रेजेंट नहीं होती है तो वो जो आवर का क्लास है तो बच्चे अगर उनके हम लोग तो जॉब पे जाते हैं और उनके जो फ्रेंड्स होते हैं हमारे वो टेक केयर करते होते हैं तब वो भी क्या करेंगे टीचर ही नहीं है तो बच्चे लाइक दे आर जस्ट वेस्टिंग देयर टाइम एंड दे वेटिंग एंड दे कैन डू नथिंग मच एट दैट टाइम टू. तो अगर उसके हवाले से मैं आपको एज ए ट्रस्टी कहना चाहूँगा अगर टीचर एब्सेंट भी है so they should get informed to the parents like, oh, teacher is not available and the kids can come online on this time to that time. So that's going to help to the parents and the people who are watching at home too.
So Yes, in the beginning, this was a big challenging thing. I mean, there was no communication channel, right? But I think now we are settled down pretty much, and we do get complaints, but very few, and that's also based on the computers. I mean, if the program is down, if Brightspace is down, or Google Meet or things are down. Other than that, this problem did happen last year.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you, and the reason was because we were reshuffling the whole school. We have to hire like new teachers. We hired at least 300 new teachers,
Yeah.
and that was a challenge, right? Because some of the teachers don't know how to use the platforms,
Yeah.
and then there are lots of other things behind that, like seniority and things like that. Like some teachers were not comfortable, some teachers went on a leave, right? So yeah, it happened last year. I completely agree with you, but for this, after Christmas break, I have not seen that, because we settled down pretty much, in terms of teachers. We have settled down in terms of organizing the whole school system. We had a survey last January the 4th, because we were giving parents some opportunities to switch.
Hmm.
But the first switch, we decided not to do it because it was a big, huge challenge. Because what happens is this: you have 25 students in a regular bricks and mortars, which is in-person school,
Hmm.
right? Let's see, 10 kids from that one goes to virtual. So that virtual school becomes like it's a whole TDSB. Don't be surprised
Hmm.
that your kids has a student from Etobicoke.
Hmm.
That's possibilities,
Yeah.
because it's a virtual school. It won't happen in remote, because in remote your teacher is your regular teacher.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So there was like teacher shortages, organizations, things, so much things were going on. But now, Alhamdulillah, I think TDS has been doing good so far, and I don't think so that complaint is coming up more
No,
often.
that's okay, Zakir bhai. Just a question came up, and we want to clarify that you guys are doing that, catching up, and is the complaint is not coming, so that's good. But Zakir bhai, when Umar bhai was talking about that grade 12, right? And so one of our parents will just send a question that how grade 12 attendance is taken and how they will be graduated.
Like I said a while ago, it's every school is doing their part, and various school is doing their various uh, forms of doing stuff. Like I have Westill in my writing, I have Cedarbrae in my writing. So they do, like high schools, they are doing one day online and one day in person. This was before
Yeah, yeah.
this shutdown, right? So in afternoon, when kids used to come to school, they used to take their presence and absence. And then
Absolutely.
again, the grade system, like I said, कि भाई जो भी आपने काम किया है, your presence, like teachers are monitoring those type of things, right?
Hmm.
और उसी सब चीजों को देखते हुए वो अपने marks, grades वगैरह करते हैं, and
Yeah.
and then they they give you those grading marks, and they guide you from there,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So this is how it has been. It's not 100%, let's put it that way, because it's not bricks and mortars, right? It's not in person,
Right.
and it's kind of challenging. So everybody's doing their part, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have actually a really good question.
Yeah.
What is the parent is asking? What is the school board doing for special needs children, autistic children? How are they learning?
All right, so some of the special schools are still open, which are in person.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, there is some help right there, right?
Right.
And yes, not all the schools are open for sure because of some safety reasons.
Right.
And the special education is very key,
Hundred
because
percent.
we cannot keep them out of this loop,
No. No.
right?
Absolutely not.
And for this type of things, I mean, this issue did came up a lot, and there are a few schools which are helping the special education kids.
Can we note them
So
down if you have them on top of your head?
In my ward, there's one school, George B. Little, which is
Okay.
conducting that.
Yep.
And if you go on TDSB website, there are a few schools outside my riding too.
Right.
So TDSB has slowly, because everything has settled down now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now the focus is starting to go to this area.
Right.
That you know what, this our special education need kids, some help, right? So let's do something about them now, right?
Right.
And again, like for them, it's going to be in person only.
Yeah. And
For
that's
them, it's
and
going
I
to be
think that's the best thing to do, right?
exactly. But again, the safety of a kid,
Right.
mental stress of a teacher,
Yeah.
and the key thing is this vaccination. Once it's rolled out, I hope people have some confidence.
Actually,
And
I think you're reading from my phone because I just got another question about that. We
uh,
understand right now we don't even have the vaccine,
Yeah.
right? So that's step number one is get the vaccine. But step number two is there any talks about safety for kids? So throughout this issue, this pandemic, like just recently, actually, like when kids started to go back to school, I saw something in Toronto District School Board, and I thought about calling you and saying, Zakir Bhai, what is this? They actually opened windows in the school where kids had to wear their jacket to circulate air. Like, come on, Zakir Bhai, like that
all
is
right.
kind of ridiculous. But that's not my question. My question is, kids eventually have to go back to school. Teachers eventually have to get there. Is it any talks about mandatory vaccination for teachers and children's coming back face to face?
Teachers has been classified as frontline workers now. So they
Yep.
will be after this long-term LTC and everything is done.
Yes.
The second phase, right? Teachers are part of it, and anybody who has seen my newsletter, it's in there.
Right.
The teachers are part of that, right?
Okay.
So once teachers are vaccinated, I guess it's going to be the local public. I'm not sure about the kids right now,
Okay.
but teachers are for sure. Like
Right.
they will be in the second phase.
And is there any issues or is there any talks in regards to? I think pretty much it's safe to say that masks are the new norm.
Yeah.
But is that going to continue? Like, are we thinking the next year, 2 years in the school system, or?
Until everything is safe, this will be a new norm.
There's gonna be the e-learning, like until the COVID is not finished, or is gonna be like only.
I am
What do you-
prepared as a parent for this whole year. As a parent, I am prepared.
Well,
The,
is
the
that a little
reason is, I
hint?
mean,
Is
Hint?
that?
Is that a hint?
as a parent, I'm ready. The,
Okay.
the reason is, I mean, imagine my kid saying, Dad, don't open the door. I say, why? Oh, there's COVID out there,
Right.
right? So, I mean, those type of anxiety and misinformations and things like that, I'm prepared for it as a parent, to be very honest with you, because I don't know where this is going to lead, because the vaccination program, right?
Hmm.
I don't think so. We'll be completely done vaccination until June or July.
Right.
And for the Muslim parents especially, it's going to be challenged because Ramadan is coming up,
Yeah.
and let's see everything rolls very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Muslims are going to do vaccinations in the month of Ramadan,
Yeah. After
right?
iftar.
After
After
iftar,
iftar.
after iftar also the challenge is tarawih ke liye jana hai, right?
Inshallah, we don't want the same Ramadan like last year. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But I have another good question because being a sports fan myself, being someone who in the school system played sports in high school, someone who also received a scholarship, so I understand that. So some of these kids, and we got some great, whatever, if it's football, basketball, hockey, volleyball players who are depending on a scholarship to go downstate or even go wherever just to get not an academic scholarship, but an athletic scholarship. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do with those? Because like if you look, NBA's on, NFL's on, all of these. So, is there something in the works for those individuals who are in grade 12 and are depending on these academic scholarships? I
I
mean,
think
these
the
sports
scholarships
scholarships.
are they are open. I don't think so. Any scholarship is closed.
No, I mean athletic scholarships. For those individuals who play sports, who are depending on an athletic scholarship.
but most of those are coming from down south, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not aware of any of those. If you're aware of it, let me know.
No, but I feel bad for those kids because we got some talented
I
kids.
know, I know. This one year, I think we have to erase it, especially
Wow.
for athletics. You have to erase it because we have done nothing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they had no chance to go out and play. They have no chance to do some physical activities and things like that. So, I think we have to erase 2020 from our calendar.
So Zakir bhai, there was
2021.
one more question. We don't have much time, and we have too many questions coming up. So we're gonna be just touching a few more, I guess. How are the teachers and the parents dealing with the COVID-19 education year? That was first question, and the second question that came out that is it the government paying $200 for each kids? Is there any expiry date on that? Like,
All right, so I'll give you the goodie ones first.
okay,
The $200 one, I think it's expiring on February the 12th, if I'm not wrong.
February the 12th.
Yes, but don't wait until then.
Obviously.
Just go. It's a very simple process. You need your kid's first and last name, school name. Once you put all this information in there, make sure, like, the spellings are correct because they have a system which matches your provincial records with your school records. Once it's accepted, they will send you, if you are signed up for a direct deposit, which is the best one to do,
Direct
so they will send
deposit.
you a password, right? Yeah, they will send you a password. Password is, it's very easy to guess
Okay.
because it's your personal information, right? So
Mm.
just go there. It's a very easy job, but don't wait until 12th of February.
So that's
It's a
good. So
provincial
expiry date.
program. Yeah, right.
Expiry date is
So
February 12th.
I think it's February the 12th, if I'm not wrong, right? And you asked me about parents and teachers.
Yeah.
Of
How are the
course,
teachers and
parents,
the parents dealing with the COVID-19 education year?
teachers, like I said again and again, they are stressed. Everyone is stressed. You guys run madrasas and things, right? It's not a normal thing, right?
Hmm.
And teachers are doing their best. I mean, imagine we are sitting right now and I have to show you a board, do this, right? It's a very challenging year. It's very tough. I mean, but I feel I think it's an opportunity there,
But
right? And the other thing is about, you said about parents, right? हर कोई सुनने वाला, प्लीज ये एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है, राइट? लाइक आई सम अप लाइक दिस, रमजान के अंदर हम हमारी तरावी होती है, राइट?
G.
वी आर लिसनिंग फ्रॉम बिहाइंड, राइट?
Hmm.
लेकिन कभी कभी क्या होता है, व्हेन वी पे टू मच अटेंशन टू कुरान शरीफ, समथिंग कम्स इन अस बिकॉज वी
Hmm.
आर पेइंग अटेंशन टू इट, राइट?
Hmm.
तो उन पेरेंट्स के लिए जो इंग्लिश का प्रॉब्लम है,
G.
टेक्नोलॉजी का प्रॉब्लम है, आई थिंक दिस इज द बेस्ट टाइम टू लर्न समथिंग. This is the best time to know the system, in fact.
Hmm.
This is the best time you can talk and chat with your teachers and with your principal, right? So take an opportunity out of it. I mean, I know we are used to of getting things very easily, but this is an opportunity. I call this as an opportunity for the parents who were never involved in the school system. And trust me, it's the school which makes you or breaks you.
Hmm.
It's not your universities, it's not your colleges, it's your school. If you don't graduate, if your grade 12 is not done, if you don't earn your 30 credits, 32 credits, right?
That's it.
I mean, you cannot even go to college and universities.
To 44. 44 in my day. No,
Right?
but you know what, Zakir Bhai? I think you're very right. See, the thing is, like parents, there has to be ownership. You're a parent, I'm a parent, Mohsin's a parent. So we understand we have to take pride in their learning, meaning tawajjo to honi chahiye. You have to take effort. So you send your kids to madrasa, you expect Maulana Sahib to take care of everything, right? But you have to be involved. We talked about this, family drama and stuff like that. We talked about this, parents not doing their part. Everything cannot be given to you on a golden platter.
Yeah.
So parents, I think because you're such a nice individual, so that's why you're sugarcoating it, right? But parents need to do their part. They need to wake up. It's about your kid. If you care about your children, then you need to do your part. And I think you're absolutely right. But I had a question in regards to the vaccine. Is there any talks on people who are anti-vaccine, who don't want to take the vaccine, and don't allow their kid to go and get vaccinated? Is there any talks about what that plan is going to look like? Are the kids going to be allowed to come back if they're not vaccinated?
See, the thing is, vaccination process is not part of TDSB. It's the provincial government
Yeah.
who is planning all this.
Right.
So I will leave up to the provincial government to look after this. Regarding anti-vaccine people, I see them online. Never seen anything in person.
Right.
Right. So you know what? I'll leave that discussion there because it's a provincial discussion, and I'll leave up to the doctors and the premier and the Minister of Health and the federal counterparts, right?
No. It's absolutely. Just make
Right.
sure.
We are just taking orders.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And one last question that I had is what are we doing to give some type of initiative to the kids? So the teachers, they're doing their part, but sometimes when you have like an awards night, like, are we doing something like that, like a virtual awards night, virtual graduation? Are we honoring our students? Like, what are we doing about that for the parents that don't know that that's happening, Zakir Bhai?
It's happening. It happened last year too. Lots of virtual graduation ceremony happened, commencement happened, what ceremonies were happening.
Gee.
You'll be surprised for these grade 12 students. They were like guidance counselors. They were career development counseling. There were like monthly secondary guidance meetings were happening, and all these people from universities and colleges were coming like online.
Right.
Like all virtual Zoom meetings were happening with the students. And there's tremendous support from the school and from TDSB. Like, every kid is using Instagram, right? And most of the most of the school, you'll be surprised, they have an Instagram account.
Oh, wow.
And they send information there.
Yeah.
Right. So the help is there. There is post-secondary sessions going on. There are social workers to help you. There are child and youth workers in the society, in the TDSB system. They all are still live. All you have to do is an email, and they will come and help you out. Like so many times we have seen teachers see students in distress. Like, they say, something is wrong.
Right.
First thing they call is their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Is everything okay with this child? Do you need help?
Mm-hmm.
Can we send a help? Again, it's not in-person help, but it's like an online help.
Right.
So there is a lot of help for parents. A lot. It's how you take it. It's very, like you said a while ago, हमें इसमें engage होना पड़ेगा.
Say.
If you are working 10 hours a day, make it 9 hours a day. लेकिन वो एक घंटा जो है ना, it's very important for us. That 1 hour can make a life of our kids.
Say.
Right.
Very true.
And this is what we have to learn. I know some parents are fed up at home too, because in one corner they are doing their work on their laptops and computers, on the other hand the school is going on.
Yeah.
And we are not used to of that culture right now, right?
Say.
Yeah.
But this is a new norm, right?
Right.
And we have to adapt. And as a parent, this is for us. As a community worker, this is for us to do something for these kids. And inshallah, with lots of sadqas, I think we'll get over with this pandemic.
Inshallah.
So Zakir Bhai, people are watching to you right now because we are live on so many social media platforms. Alhamdulillah.
Mm-hmm.
So the parents are asking that I am not from your ward. मैं आपके ward से नहीं हूँ. मगर जो इन्फॉर्मेशन मुझे मिल रही है जाकिर भाई से, दैट्स वेरी इन्फॉर्मेटिव. जैसे क्रोम बुक का कह दिया, सेम थिंग, सेम प्रॉब्लम कमिंग अगेन, कि वो लोग को भी सेम प्रॉब्लम हो रहे हैं. तो अगर जाकिर भाई हेल्प कर सकते हैं, अगर दूसरे बोर्ड में है तो फर्स्ट.
I can answer that for him.
Right? So if you wanna
Okay,
leave your
if it's a TDSB board, see, we all have our boundaries. Like all the trustees have our boundaries.
Everyone wants you as their TDSB trustee. That's what it is.
there you go.
Okay,
And
anyways, go ahead,
the
Zakir
thing
bhai.
is, yeah, like you can email me for sure. I can direct you very easily. If you're not getting the Chromebooks, that should not be a roadblock for your kids' education.
Right.
And this is what we trustees, all 22 trustees, are making sure with the staff, that there should be no roadblocks. So anybody can contact me 647-709-7973, or they can email me zakir.patel@tdsb.on.ca,
We're gonna put
or
that on
just
the.
subscribe my newsletter, right? So yeah, help kisi ki bhi ho jaye. End of the day, it's humanity. I really
100%.
don't care where it's coming from, right?
100%.
And the other thing, I mean, I know we are running out of time, but we have to focus on a couple of things. Like, there are so many grants in the school system,
Right.
Yeah.
right? There's so many helps for grade 12 kids, right? जिसमें आप OSAP and things. I know there's misconception about OSAP. नहीं लेना चाहिए, interest है, ये वो है, right? But those type of helps are there. OSAP is not like you have to pay interest right away, right? So there are but forget about that high school one. I mean, there are so many things we can do in terms of scholarship.
Right.
Ask your teachers, ask your principal. Like there's a kid, and she was a student last year at Sidbury. She got $100,000 scholarship from Sulak Business.
Oh wow, mashallah, very good.
That's good.
Hundred
Mashallah.
thousand dollars from Sidbury. There's another kid who might get from Laurier.
Wow, very good.
But talk to your guidance counselor. Talk to your principal. Is there any help available? Is there any scholarship for my kids?
Right.
Right. And there are, like, I can tell you, at least 150 different companies, private or somebody who is like Shulak is, how they are, right? Like universities, they
prestige.
also offer those type of things, right?
Prestige.
So they give you those type of money. So that can give motivation to your kids. It can also give motivation to the parent.
Right.
And you know what? I was looking for $100,000 for my kids' education. If I put an effort every day, 1 hour on my kid, I don't have to work overtime. I can prepare my child for that challenging thing and get $100,000 from there.
Right.
Right. So there are so many things. I mean, in the system, it's just an engagement. If parents start engaging in their kids' education, there's a lot of things sitting there.
Right.
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 And
Wasn't by anything else for Zakir bhai before I have my last point?
No, it's just we are short of the time. We have not much time left. So you can go ahead and then we.
So Zakir bhai, before we end off, I'm just gonna steal maybe 5 to 7 more minutes. I just when you think Toronto, so we have some great, we got some great people that came out of Toronto, especially Scarborough. Let's say Scarborough. When you think Scarborough is known for a lot of things. Like, we have a lot of good, but we also have a lot of bad. And the bad that's happening in our community is revolving around, like violence and all of that stuff. Education is key, but what are we doing differently in the educational system to keep those individuals engaged in the process? It's a very big deal. I went to a school where there was a lot of gangs, drugs, all of that stuff. And it was hard for those kids who were in that, dealing drugs or whatever the case may be, to stay engaged with schooling, because then you had, our Madam Saiba was Buddhi, and no one's going to listen to her, right? Like, so nobody used to listen, right? But that's one thing that deterred us from going to class, I'm not saying about myself. I was a very good student, grade all A's, and always went to class. But what I'm saying is, it's not. What are we doing differently? Is the curriculum changed? Have you seen something to say that we need to change something? We need to get even those kids involved who are not engaged in school, because no matter what mom and dad say, they are too influenced on the street, and they're not going to stay engaged in class. So, what is the school system doing about that?
Again, like this requires a lot of conversation on this. It's not just the school system. It starts from home,
Right.
and then it reaches to your school. School does have resources. It's not that school don't have it. Like I said, child and youth workers, social workers, your guidance counselor, your VPs, right? Like those are the help which will always be there, right? But like I said, we have to reach to the roots of this. And where are the roots? We all know where are the roots, right? I can give you examples after examples. बच्चा सुबह 8:45 घर से निकला, स्कूल पहुंचा नहीं पहुंचा किसी को पता ही नहीं है,
Say.
right? Number two, oh, my child is wearing $200 Nike shoes. Nobody's questioning him,
Yeah.
Very good point.
right? Because I know my kid.
Mm-hmm.
तीसरी एक छोटी बात बोलता हूँ. As a parent, when our child goes to grade 6 or 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
कभी हमने बोला बेटा ये ले, आज से $2 रोज तू मुझसे ले लेना,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
$2 का मतलब क्या है? During lunch hour, probably he might go and eat a slice of pizza,
Right.
Yeah.
right? It's just what do you call? How we were doing those mingling things, right? चलो
Yeah.
lunch करने कहीं चलते हैं, right? घर का
Yep.
खाना कभी चलता नहीं चलता है, right?
Yep.
And this is where, as a parent, we don't think about this. We think, what, इसकी फीस हमें देनी है, grade 12 यूनिवर्सिटी जाएगा तब.
Mm.
लेकिन तब तक it's too late. Do
Yeah.
we focus on that $2? कि what, ले बेटा, खा या मत खा, आज से $2 लेके चला जाना,
Mm.
right? And this is what attracting our kids or any kids. Okay, but
Right.
you know what? I don't have money. What should I do? And everything is game about money.
Yeah.
I have never seen a gang violence for education,
Oh no.
right? It's all about money and fame, right?
Yeah.
But money takes you to fame. That's what it is.
Yeah.
कभी किसी ने ये नहीं सोचा कि भाई मैं 500 बार गन चलाऊंगा तो I will be famous. No, you'll be scared of authorities, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the key thing and the key root is parent engagement. It starts from us. Another thing, it's not about parents only. As a community leaders,
Yeah.
we have to step up.
100%.
We parents have limitations, right?
Mm-hmm.
They trust that their kids are going to a mosque, to a church, to a temple, or to a school, and they are safe there,
Right.
right? This is what their thinking is. Now
Right.
it's our responsibility as a community
Yeah.
to provide something.
Absolutely.
Like I said a while ago, if we start that small idea of half an hour of guidance counseling,
It's a very good point.
and for those grade 8 and 9 kids, they're still in madrasa, right?
Yeah.
We can say, you know what, this is what's going to happen in your school.
Yeah.
And if we prepare them in advance,
Mm-hmm.
there'll be no shock in there,
For sure.
right? So, I mean, again, like it's a very big conversation, Omar Bhai, Mohsin. It's not like I said, I mean, if we start discussing about TDSB, I think you need 10 episodes on that.
Yeah.
And the community and what can we do as community. Our kids look upon us as a role models,
Right.
right? And I'm willing to accept that as a role models and as a community people, we have failed them.
Oh, 100%.
We have failed them. We did not provide them what they supposed to get,
And we
right?
labeled
And
them and we threw them in the corner.
exactly, right? And these are good kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they are good kids, but the thing is, they are lost.
Yeah.
I met a good guy like 8 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
born, raised in Toronto, in Scarborough,
Right.
and he goes, I don't know what to do.
Mm.
I said, what's your interest? He goes, well, I want to do business, and I did business in college or university. I say, what's stopping you to do business? Money?
Mm.
He goes, yeah. I say, well, there are so many banks who are willing to provide you a small business loan in the beginning of $25,000. He goes, really? I say, yeah. So this type of informative sessions, if we bring on table, right, and these kids catch those stuff from us, they will flourish.
Oh, guaranteed.
Right, but the thing is, like, as a system, we have, as a society, we have failed.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's going to take a long conversation on this. It's
Yeah,
not going to
absolutely.
stop here. It's a big conversation,
Yeah.
and we'll discuss this another time. It's a good show. I think I'll have to come back again.
No,
Yeah,
and you're most welcome, and I
100%.
think you should, and I think we should go into more of that type of conversation. What are we doing for our kids for the future, inshallah? Mohsen bhai.
But that's good, Zakir Bhai, the way you're telling the community leaders and their parents, they all guys should involve, right? So one of the question when you're saying about the community leaders, one of the community leaders is texting me right now. He's saying, ask Zakir Bhai that when community leaders get involved, right, to get engaged to the kids. Let's say Monday to Friday स्कूल पर जाते हैं तो Friday, Saturday या Sunday 3 दिन जब जो community leaders है जैसे councils है organizations है they try to book a gym but Markham Lawrence the hot area right now lots of shootings going on right now right so they lost their school Cornell की जो school है they can keep engaged their kids by getting their gyms you know they're playing basketball volleyball so Zakir bhai can you bring back that school for us they're asking.
So here is the thing: how you can change something. It's a policy thing, right? And when the policies change, you have to go back to the drawing table and change the policy again. In the past, I requested few members from the community to sit on this committee. Community use it's a 5-letter word, so I don't remember exact word, but that's a community usage, like whatever we do in this school system, like your gyms and things. All the decisions are made there. You will be surprised. On that board, I was in the beginning, but the meeting was 8 o'clock in the morning every time. And for me, it's a challenging to go 8 o'clock in the morning at Young Street, 5050 Young, right? I went to one meeting, believe me or not, there was literally no representation from Scarborough.
Wow.
And this, who comes there? Association people. Who comes there? Business people. You'll be surprised how many schools are on lease right now for $1, $2 a month, a
Wow.
year.
Wow.
Why? They are organized. That the community is outspoken.
Yeah.
Right? So many times when these cuts were happening, I approached few of our people to come and do delegations.
Right.
मुझे काम पे जाना है. I cannot come.
And they don't.
Right? And
Not surprised.
any political person or anybody who is your leader needs your backing, right? And there should be a sound at the table saying that it's the community's voice. It's not Zakir's voice. It's not Umar's voice. It's not Mohsin's voice. It's the community. That's what they are demanding.
Right.
And I'm glad, I'm proud of all the 6 Scarborough trustees. Believe me, we are collectively doing so much good things for Scarborough people. We are fighting for it because if you look at all these 6 trustees, right? I'm good-hearted, hard workers. Some are from education fields, some are from business professions, right? We understand the problem, right? But our people, our community is not engaged. And if you are not engaged, nobody's going to listen to you.
True. True. Makes sense.
You have to engage, right?
Absolutely.
You have to make it a community voice,
100%. 100%.
right? And this is what my message is to you and to the community. You have to get engaged. You cannot speak, don't worry, I'm here to speak. Right? Just stay behind me. Right? And this is what we have to do. And next program, I like to see it something on parents' engagement.
For sure.
And this has to include, like, you like Maulanas and things like that, because we are part of this.
100%.
The society has changed. I mean, we have to forget, इंडिया से होगा तो मोदी का न्यूज देखेगा, पाकिस्तान से होगा तो इमरान खान का देखेगा, बांग्लादेश से होगा तो वो इंडिया का न्यूज देखेगा. But guys, what's going on in this system?
Yeah, that's a very good point. You have to know what's happening in our community. It starts
Right? How
here. We
many
live here.
messages do we send on WhatsApp or things which is related to the system in here?
Yeah.
Few,
None.
right?
Yeah.
Very few.
And this is what we have to change, and this is the reason why our kids
Yeah.
हमारे खिलाफ बागी हो जाते हैं. क्यों? हमारा टीवी चलता है तो all this Geo News, आज
Yeah.
तक, ये
Yeah.
वो ये सब चलता है, and he is like pissed off.
Yeah.
What's going on?
He's pissed off, literally. It's happening in our own houses, right?
Of course.
So we have to change that mentality, right?
Same thing like masjids. People are doing bayans in Urdu.
Yeah.
Canadian kids coming, he don't understand what's going on. Maulana Urdu mein baat kar rahe, they don't know what's going on. Same thing we talked in last our podcast. The imam should be talking in our language, English, so the kids can understand.
But
You're right.
again, I still have some reservations on that. We should not let them forget their languages,
That's true.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
100%.
right? I mean, उनको इतना भी अंदर नहीं लाना है कि बाहर ना निकल सके,
So,
right? But we can provide that platform. Everything is available
oh,
nowadays,
100%.
100%.
100%.
right? But like I said, next conversation when we have one after a month or 2 months or 3 months, I mean, whatever it is, this parent engagement we have to, and
So,
बच्चों का और parents का relation जो है ना, how it could be a friendly relation, because I'm talking all my experience of TDSB.
Yeah.
right.
I'm not saying as a community में क्या हो रहा है, no. I'm talking from the TDSB point of view, because this is your foundation. If your TDSB, if your school foundation is not strong, this is where the kids are going to disperse from
Of
there,
course. The system is going to corrupt.
100%. Yeah.
right? And this is where you're going to lose your child,
Yep.
because other than 8 hours in school, where else he's going to go in here? आप
Sure.
विंटर को देख लो, समर में तो आप चलो कुछ भी यहाँ खेलने गया, वो हुआ, ये हुआ, right?
For sure.
But we have to understand that part, and this is all I'm talking on the basis of the school system,
No,
not
absolutely.
right, like not community based. Okay, you know what I'm trying to criticize parents? No, your first step, look after your child in the school system. We are
100%.
blessed. We have free school system.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like back home, we all know we have to pay fees and everything for books and things like that, right?
Of
So
course.
engage in your parent council. That's another source of information,
Right.
right? So it's a larger conversation. Inshallah, we'll have one day. But like
Sure.
again, I see you guys are doing a great job,
Thank you very
right?
much,
छोटी
Zakir.
छोटी बातें करेंगे तो मेरे ख्याल से एक डिक्शनरी अच्छी लिखी जाएगी या अच्छी एक बड़ी बुक लिखी जाएगी, and it's a good start. And
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, I'm happy to be part of this program today,
Thank you very
and
much.
keep up this great work you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you
I
very
think
much.
you guys are becoming role model in the community,
Thank you.
right? Of touching the sensitive subjects.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I don't call them sensitive subjects. I call them reality subjects.
Very true.
Absolutely.
You have to talk now. If you don't talk now, this will continue for another 30 years.
100%.
Yeah.
And
100%.
it will never change. And I'm glad you guys are doing this. So thank you very much, and thank you for the invite.
No, absolutely. I think the pleasure is all ours. Just before we end off, Zakir Bhai, if you can, just your closing remarks to do the whole episode, but also please just add in your email again, so people who don't know your email, and your phone number if you need to contact, etc. If you can add that in as your closing remarks, and then we'll let you go, inshallah.
Sure. So I did have my closing remarks, but like I said, my keyword is engagement.
Right.
Please engage. This is an opportunity. This is not a challenge. This is an opportunity for all those parents who are sitting at home, right? So get engaged. That's number one. That's a key thing. Know
Right.
your child. Keyword is know your child.
Right.
हर बच्चा engineer, doctor नहीं बन सकता है. Keep that in mind,
Yeah.
True.
right? Know your child. That's the key thing in this, right? Know the system. I'm here to help. Call me anytime or text message me 647-709-7973. or you guys can email me at zakir.patel@tdsb.on.ca. And I'm available, inshallah. I mean, I'll return your phone call, I'll return your text messages, and like I said, have some patience, because everything is virtual nowadays, right? So this is my request to parents: engage, know your child. That's the key thing in this. Jazakallah, and have a good night, everyone.
Thank you very much, Zakir Bhai, for taking the time out to be a part of our podcast virtually. And thank you for doing great work. I know I don't live in Scarborough and stuff, but you know I've supported you. I've helped you when you needed it, etc. And that continues. Our team is always there for you, and you know that. I don't have to mention it. So thank you very much for your time.
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah, Zakir Bhai. As Umar Bhai said, you're the person who's to contact. You're a very helpful person. You don't check if you're ward in different ward, and I'm working with you. I know I bring up my couple cautions to you from different board. You help out the people. You don't check it's from board 19 or 20 or 21. You always there to help to everyone. So keep doing that. And our viewers who you're watching, anybody, if you need any help to the school related or your like Chromebooks you're not getting, please contact Brother Zakir Patel, and he will be happy to help you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. All right, so good podcast, Mohsen.
It was very good.
Very different.
Very informative.
MashaAllah, there we are. It was hard doing that. It was hard doing that.
I know.
So, very good podcast. So, thank you very much, Mohsen Bhai, for joining. I know you had some own questions and stuff like that, but it's always good to be with you, inshallah, you know, on these podcasts. So, any final remarks or?
No, the final remarks was that only I gave already, that this is a very informative podcast that we brought our own brother Zakir Patel, who is a trustee of TDSB, and he has given us a lot of information regarding COVID update, how you can get the Chromebook, how you can return the Chromebook, and how what is the end date of the people getting $200 for each child. That's February 12th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Umar Bhai, that's the end date of the kids who are qualified from government money was given out to each kids. So there are a lot of information. Please go out to the this podcast, TDSB COVID-19 update. Zakir Bhai had mentioned each and everything in that. And if you have any other further questions as well, please do not hesitate to contact our brother Zakir Patel. He will always happy to help you. Thank you.
MashaAllah. So that was our podcast on TDSB, kind of COVID-19 educational update. So I want to thank Janab Mohsen Patel Saab and Zakir Patel. They're not related, but you know, thank you very much for joining us and being a part of this podcast. So we really enjoyed it. So for the parents, please go back and rewatch it. We will put the information on the link below, so you can have the information there. So I want to thank them for doing so. Lastly, so Mic'd Up 416, we got a lot of good things happening, got good things planned for the upcoming months, and we're going to highlight certain sponsors and those who have been involved. Our first, so the design that you see in the back, our first month, you know, alhamdulillah, our sister Amal, she's on Instagram, but I'll get into all that after. But you can go. She did all this design in our masjid, so she's going to be highlighting. We're going to highlight her in the month of February, and she's going to be sponsoring our event. So sponsors are out there. So please contact Mohsen. You can find the flyer on our social media accounts. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Mic'd Up 416 on YouTube for updates. And inshallah, follow us on Instagram. At Mic'd Up 416, and all of the social media platforms. Spotify, we're on Spotify and all of that, Apple Podcasts. If you go to our Instagram, if we go into our Instagram, it has all the links, inshallah. So thank you very much, brothers and sisters. And next week, inshallah, we got rapid fire questions and answers. So please stay tuned in for that. And we got a lot of good programs coming in the next few weeks as well. So thank you very much. Inshallah, we'll see you soon. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.